What's going on, guys? This is going to be a part 3. I ended up doing the LiPo and nickel metal hydride in the same video rather than stop and start the video. So here we're back at the workbench taking a look at ooh, look at that, I broke it already. That quick run, I must have lost the bolt, or not the bolt, the screw, the nut, because this is supposed to go through here into that. Must have rattled loose. Have to fix that. Of course, RC cars break, but never want to see that right out of the box. I've already lost that nut now. Sure, we can, you know, put a zip screw through it, or zip tie through it if you're that desperate, just temporarily until the nut comes if you don't have something. But one thing I'm going to note, because a video is a video, is what it is, right? Alright, so let's overall look and compare these two. So let's do tires seem to be just a little taller on the Redcat, and they seem to be about the same, you know, circumference for the most part. So they're close, but I'd give the notch to the Redcat on tire size. Tire compound, and you know, just overall, probably again have to give it to the Redcat, even though these are a little wider. They're both good tires though. Rims, they're both pretty nice looking rims, and they both have a lot of meat touching the wheel rim. So again, overall size, you can see that the Redcat is probably just a touch smaller, just a little smaller. Okay, you can see there that it's close. They're almost the same size. I mean, maybe they are the same size. I mean, the Arrma one just looks a little bigger. Maybe it's the body that just makes it look more masculine. I'm not really sure, more aggressive. But either way, they're both great trucks. Turn them around here and see the backs. Again, we broke this, but see that it's just, you know, all around both good trucks. Haven't broken either of them. Like I said, I was able to put the Granite in the thermal overload, running it through grass and stuff on its first unboxing, first run review video I did. Let's pull the clips off and go a little bit more detailed. As far as bodies go, I'd have to say that I prefer the Arrma one. Doesn't look as nice, but I love how they did this step on the chassis, and then this just kind of sits right on it. It really keeps all the crap out. And you can see that this one, I can still bend this one up to turn it on and off. Not as convenient as the Redcat, but still, you know, it does the job. You can just boop off. And this one has the switch right here, so you can still do it. But I really do like that design. Alright, so body clips, standard old regular body clips for the Redcat, so you'd have to get some kind of retainer if that's what you're into, because these have built-in retainers. I'm going to show you those in a second. So this again has built-in retainers where the body clip comes off and just hangs, so you don't have to put them off to the side like on this one. One thing about these though is these kind of like entice you to pull from here, which I don't think they're going to last for long with people doing that. You know, you still have to pull from here. I'm probably going to bend these up. It seems to help. I do that on my other vehicles. Okay. Or you could do the old zip tie and fuel tubing trick too. Alright, so again, bodies, they both seem pretty hard. I'd say the Arrma is maybe a little tougher feeling, but not by much. And you can see they're nearly the same size. I mean, you could probably almost just swap them. You know, literally put this body on this one. Of course, the body mounts aren't going to line up, but whoops, that would help, wouldn't it? Duh. That's the back of the truck. Alright, so yeah, I mean, you can see that they're pretty much the same size type truck. You know, now this truck looks a little smaller than this one. So I don't know if it's just optical illusion, but let's put the bodies off to the side here. Again, get that LiPo pack out of there. So again, they both use a strap system. You can see they both use one. You see this one only comes through right here. You can only see it there. You can't see it here. Whereas this one, you can see a little bit more of it. Okay, a little bit more exposed to the elements. Bottom wise, the Arrma is more of a big solid plated chassis, where this is more of your traditional Stampede style, Traxxas style, with the little chassis cup in the center. And I mean, the Arrma seems to be built stronger. There seems to be a lot more material if you look versus the other. Everything just seems to be beefier. This does have steel steering and controls, and this one has plastic, and you definitely are not adjusting these. So that's one negative. These can at least be adjusted so you can take the wheels in and out with the toe. I could see that being a problem. I've had that happen with other vehicles where because of these not being adjustable, you can't get the wheels to line up. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but something to take note of. Now this does have plastic drive shafts. You can see that they're plastic drive shafts. The sleeve style, not a huge fan of those either. Of course, these fall out, these break, so you really can't, you know, or they bend. These bend or fall out. Very rarely do they break on me. And these ones break, and they don't fall out, but they break. They strip themselves. So let's flip it back over. Still looking at the backs here. What else do I see? Shocks on the Arrma are pretty decent shocks. I do have spacers in there right now. Actually, no, I don't have the spacers. It's a factory spacer. But you can see they're plastic bodied completely, whereas this has the aluminum threaded shocks. So that's, you know, a point for this one. No heat sink versus heat sink. The ESCs are probably pretty much the same. Well, look at that. Look what we did. We got, I guess, loosened it up here. So that's an issue. It's probably sitting on the steering servo to go through that. But yeah, the ESC came loose, if you saw that, from us doing the jumps, and I guess it getting hot. Must have undone the rubber. So that's technically two things that broke on a first run. So nothing broke on the first run of the Arrma, but again, like I said, I put it in an overheat where I couldn't use it, even with fresh batteries. So that wasn't very fun, not being able to use it. So you can see that this has a lot more protection for the chassis, which is really nice, where this is kind of more open. Steering servo, it's a little bit more, well, they're both pretty accessible, pretty easy to work on. I'm not a real fan of how they mounted this switch onto the servo, because if you ever want to change it, you got to remount it, and yada, yada, yada. This one's on the side of the speed controller, which is a little bit more convenient. You can see that this has a plastic drive axle, whereas this one has the metal one. So I'm not sure how long this is going to last. It's supposed to be very durable, and I'm very curious to see how long this truck actually holds up, especially if we go brushless with it, because that'll push the limits of, you know, of what we can do. So if it's going to break on brushless, then we know it might break brushed. But if it doesn't break brushless, then we know for a fact that we're good to go. Especially since they make both of these trucks in brushless editions, and more than likely it's just the motor speed controller combo that they've changed. Everything else is exactly the same, including gearing, unless it says otherwise. But for the most part, it's usually the same. Maybe they throw, you know, aluminum shocks on this one, but I doubt it's probably still the same. Again, overall, very happy. I mean, that's pretty much where we're at. As far as durability goes, I'd have to give the edge probably to the Arrma at this point. One thing I want to say, that this, although it does look very simple to take apart, still all a bunch of screws and little bits and bobs. The Arrma, the nice thing about the Arrma is it's a couple screws, but for the most part, you see where that says pull, and this is like, this turns. So this one comes apart supposedly a lot easier than this one does. I haven't had to take it apart yet to find out, but when we do, I'm sure I'm going to love it or hate it, and I'm sure I'll let you know. Because obviously I'm going to need more bashing, more time, and some time fixing them to really give you a true evaluation. But I will come back, tell you which one I like better, if we ran them, you know, brushless or whatever, you know, updates. So if you're in between on which one to get, I would have to say my vote. Oof, this is a tough one. My vote would probably have to go to Arrma. I'd probably have to run the Granite, only because I feel like it might be made better. If I can only buy one RC, and it was one of these two, probably the Granite. Although I'm not sure. I guess you be the one to decide. I'll come back with a report. Maybe I'll have more definitive information where if this one's always broken and this one keeps running, then obviously this one's going to be better. Because to me, durability beats anything. It beats looks, it beats fast, it beats anything. It has to be durable and it has to be easy to take apart and put back together. Otherwise, it's complete garbage to me. So with that, I leave you. Hope some of this made some sense. Regardless, I'll see you in the next video, alright? Take it easy.